All right, so we are in the process of watching a lot. I'm in the process of watching a lot of movies. I watched a lot, and one of them was Blood Diamond. Spectacular, exciting, and stunningly well made, says David Denby of The New Yorker. An ex-missionary turned smuggler, DiCaprio, a Mende fisherman, Jimon Honsu, amid the explosive civil war overtaking 1999 Sierra Leone. These men join for two desperate missions: recovering a rare pink diamond of immeasurable value and rescuing the fisherman's son. Conscripted as a child soldier into the brutal rebel forces, ripping a swath of torture and bloodshed across the alternatively beautiful and ravaged countryside. Directed by Edward Zwick, Glory, The Last Samurai. This urgent, intensely moving adventure shapes gripping human services and heart-pounding action to a modern epic of profound impact. And yeah, this one, well, when I watched The Last Samurai, it was a movie that had a lot of kineticism and energy, and this one does too. It what I noticed for this was, yes, the story is definitely serious. This is a seriously toned film, and it deals with some intense stuff going on over there. Trying to get the diamonds and everything, and they say it's like they're talking about like how the 10% of the diamond trade comes from like all the I don't want to say getting it through less than legitimate means. Let's just put it that way. And yeah, that's good. It's like all the child soldiers and everything. Yeah, that's some good. There's some stuff going on, especially with what was that? Revolutionary United Front. It's like all these things come into play, but it's the performances that carry this movie. The performances and the high intense action scenes and the energy going on. There's a lot of energy going on through this movie. I mean, even gosh darn Jennifer Connelly. Yes, Jennifer Connelly is in this as well. So this movie, like, what makes it so good is at first, well, let's go over DiCaprio's character. He's manages to fake his way, proclaiming, I mean, he is a journalist at first, saying that he works for National Geographic. And I'm like, okay. But then he eventually gets taken to a incarcerated for a little bit. He they get out, and that he has his own loyalties and things going on, because he also meets with a colonel. So it's like he really, really wants to help Solomon Vice or whatever the other character's name is, but he feels conflicted because one, he's trying to help him out. Two, he's also got a colonel that he's dealing with because he's going to promise him a pink diamond. And also feeling like, I guess you could call it the ethics of journalism in a way that Connelly's character is doing, because she doesn't want to have like any sensationalist stories and things like that. So we get a lot of conflict going on there, and I like that. The characters make this up. We do have some downtime where she's like writing and trying to figure out like a story and everything else. She's got a laptop in early 2000s Africa that didn't have any internet capabilities, but because Wi-Fi wasn't as popular then as it is now. So instead we get a lot, like saying like where your loyalties lie. Like I said, the sensationalist stories that the rich people at the Vanda camps, not the frozen fish people, but a made up evil organization that gets the diamonds through less than legitimate means, which we eventually find out that one, they give money to the government, and they also give money to the RUF, and start staging everything to make it seem like that's local conflict when they were manipulating things from behind the scenes, thus making them the real villains and the real a-holes that you just want to see get slapped repeatedly. And it's obviously a I don't want to say satire, but a take on the De Beers Corporation. And yeah, I mean, obviously we get to see some enslavement. We also get to see the great family dynamic that Jimon's character goes through, as like his wife, daughter, and son are missing, so he has to go through a lot of like red tape and papers and stuff like that. Now, eventually, he does meet his wife and daughter. They're in like a refugee camp, and you feel the heartbreak as the poor guy is just broken, that he can see them, but he can't access them. That's the rough part. I'm like, you poor man, you know. So as I'm just watching, and I'm like, I feel so bad for him. But then when his son gets consigned into the child soldiers, I mean, like given nicknames, they're brainwashed at a young age, and this is some serious stuff right here. It's, you know, it is uncomfortable, but it's a reality that we have to face. And, you know, like they're given nicknames and everything else, and it takes a while for the son to recover. You know, eventually does. We get the happiest ending that we can. DiCaprio's character gets shot. And, you know, he dies right there. Spoiler alert, sorry, but I figure most people have seen it. Eventually, the Solomon goes there, and he goes to North America and gives a first-hand account of what was going on. And I'm like, it was a good ending to help take down the non-fishy corporation that really 100% deserved it, because they were a bunch of schmucks. And I'm like, good, forget them. And, you know, I mean, obviously, use it as, this movie is like a diving board and just more of the intensity that was going on with the Sierra Leone conflict. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yes, some of it is exaggerated. Yes, some of it is there for the emotional impact. That is A-okay. That's what I wanted to see. You know, and it got 5 Academy Award nominations, including Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor. In the beginning, they're like when DiCaprio's getting out of the what was that, helicopter, 2 ladies are seen. That's his mother and grandmother, which was pretty freaking cool. He gave them a nod right there. And like I said, you know, it was all, like I said, how this was with the Last Samurai. You know, like you had the set pieces, you had the action, you had the kineticism going on. It balances well with some of the emotional stuff, but that's exactly what you hear for those things. Yes, you know exactly what you're getting when they have firearms that go pew pew pew. And also, yeah, I also want to say something about the De Beers Corporation. They're the ones who admitted that a diamond should be 3 months' salary in order to prove it to your wife. This was during, what was that, the Depression in the 1940s, when their profits were down, so they decided to make the gullible American public believe this with zero circumstantial evidence. So to them, I say, you're like, good marketing tactic, but not cool. So yeah, Blood Diamond, give it a watch for the action and characters.